Hey everybody, I'm Colin Christianson with Tenacious Ventures. We're here at the Northwest Event Summit interviewing some of the speakers, people on the floor, and the booths that are here. Today with me I have Bruce Scheer, and so we're going to talk a little bit about some of his expertise even in the sales area too. And he's also got an upcoming company that he's going to launch, and so we're going to get into a little bit of that as well. So why don't you give us a little bit of background actually on yourself first,
Sure.
and then let's get into kind of the next chapter that you're moving into with this new launch of a company.
Yeah, thanks, Colin. Yeah, I appreciate it. So nice to be. Thank you for tuning in to this conversation. And so a little bit about me. I've been in the sales enablement space for years, even before the term existed, working for a lot of the bigger clients like Microsoft, Hewlett Packard, Motorola, et cetera, and some scale ups that you've probably heard of, Concur, Tableau, et cetera. And we're in the midst of building a new business. I kind of took out a magic wand and thought about, hey, how can we turn sales reps into value professionals, meaning that they can connect the value dots for their buyers? What's that going to take? So that was the genesis of us starting this new business.
Value pros. So yeah. So, and then what is the long-term kind of end goal for that, and how do you really continue to add the expertise that you have and have been building over the years, and how is that going to be reflected in the company?
Oh, absolutely. Well, it really starts with the plight of the B2B enterprise seller. Mm-hmm. What are they facing these days?
Yeah.
Right now, Colin, we're in a really tough market. Mm-hmm. I just got a stat a week ago that only 40% of sales reps were able to meet their quota.
Yeah.
And everybody's discounting right now. It's kind of a tough market.
Yeah, it is.
And so it's a beautiful time for us to launch this organization to help those sellers, again, move from being a product-centric value or sales rep to a value professional.
Yeah.
That's really the storyline. And there's a couple of dynamics that have also changed. Mm-hmm. Buyers are more sophisticated.
Yeah.
70% of the B2B buying process happens outside of talking to sales. Mm. Are you aware of that? Or it's online. Mm-hmm. So the buyers in their buying group, 70% of that journey is done online. Mm-hmm. So they're talking to people, they're looking online, they're talking to everybody but the sales reps.
Yeah.
And so you got this educated buyer showing up, because they don't want to talk to sales reps necessarily, because a lot of sales reps aren't value pros, they're sales reps.
Yeah.
And but they're doing all that online shopping. Then they select the vendors they want to partner with. Normally they're looking at 3+ vendors for that final 30%. And I like to think of that, the analogy of a mountain. Mm-hmm. That all that journey took place. Now the seller and the buyer and 3 other sales reps are at the base of that mountain trying to ascend. That's the hard part of the buying journey.
Yeah.
The problem that most of the buyers and sellers bump into, I call it the value fog.
Value fog. All right.
So it's like, think of Mount Rainier.
Yep.
It's like a fog bank rolls in. Hey, which way's up? I'm lost.
Oh, yeah. I've climbed it before, so I know.
I call that the value fog. Yeah. And the sad thing is 60% of buyers and sellers head back down the mountain once they hit that value fog. So 6 out of 10 B2B deals end in no deal, inaction.
Yeah.
It's a really sad number.
Yeah.
25% head to the summit, but with the competitor's sales rep. So if you're a sales rep, you're typically only winning 15% of your deals, 1.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's a real bad win rate or hit rate, if you would. So what we're trying to do is clear away that value fog, help that seller, help the buyer accelerate their growth.
Yeah.
And to do that, what we're helping these value professionals do is differentiate themselves based on the story they tell and how they can quantify the business value associated with going with them and their solution.
Yeah.
So when that goes right, everybody wins, both the seller and the buyer, and everything spins better.
That makes sense, because you're basically speaking their language. Like, they want to improve, they want to use you to add value to the company, they want to use you to grow. So if they're going to hire you as a vendor, you have to have some sort of value that you're bringing, right, to the table.
Yeah. And so, and still to this day, sellers show up and go, hey, I got something to sell you. Let me talk about it.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Here's the features, functions, benefits.
Yeah.
You want to hear more? Yeah. And the buyer's like going, how does this relate to me? I'm
Yeah.
trying to help the sellers turn into value pros to help connect those value dots.
Yeah.
What's it mean from an emotional standpoint, an operational standpoint, and a financial standpoint
I
to
like how you
help
break
that
it.
buyer be successful?
Yeah, I
That's
like
what
those.
it's all
I
about.
like having those categories because I know that was a chasm I had to cross too. Because the one thing, even with our live production gear here, is basically I geek out about how cool it is and look at what it can do and how like how the quality of the video and the picture. But then
Yeah.
I started realizing my client doesn't care necessarily about that. They do a little, but at the end of the day, when we're doing like an all hands meeting for a corporation, it's like they care about employee engagement. They
Totally.
care about increase in morale, dedication to the company, networking with inside the company between employees, creating a
Yep.
strong, sticky infrastructure that's going to bring in more outside talented people. So
Totally. They're
those are
not
the
thinking
kind of
about the
things.
lights. They're not
Yeah,
thinking about the microphone and
Yeah.
the chairs. Yeah. No. They're
Exactly.
thinking of their outcomes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then also how you break it into your categories there. Like I haven't even thought about that. So I'm going to immediately go back and even break it into categories and be like, which categories do these values stick in? So that's awesome. That's a great way to
Also,
look
if I
at
could
it.
help you, Colin, and also the audience, I wrote a bestseller in 2023.
Uh-huh.
It's called Inspire Your Buyers, Go to Market with a Story That Sizzles.
Okay.
And it really is value focused, helping that buyer see those value dots,
Yeah.
taking them through the problem you're solving for them, the outcome you're promising.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they're interested, then backing into, well, hey, here's the solution that might help you.
Yeah.
But not starting with the solution or product,
Yeah.
starting with them, their world, and what's wrong and what can we do better.
Yeah, and it really brings up the concept of just, having empathy for your client to understand the struggles and the stress that they have in their life that you could either streamline, automate, or add even greater value to. So
Absolutely.
so that's great. It really speaks to almost like in a development of being a good person and having the empathy, understanding people around you, really approaching it from that perspective, it sounds like.
Big time.
Yeah.
Part of our offering, if I could talk a little bit about the microphones and lighting and all that, a little bit of our offering and that will drive that empathetic element that you were just talking about.
Yeah.
We're leveraging AI, of course, like everyone.
Yeah.
But we've got our own app that's called Briefing Book.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we're doing is leveraging AI to scrape, the web, LinkedIn, et cetera, bring back relevant contextual information so the seller can do their homework,
Mm-hmm.
but do it much faster
Mm.
and show up more what I call value ready
Yeah.
to meet that customer in their world. Talk about the trends that are bugging them, the pressures that are keeping them up at night, talking about the competitive dynamics, the type of value they should be bringing to their customers, and really meeting them there and help that buyer in their pursuit of change.
Yeah. That's awesome. So if we want to learn more or anybody watching wanted to learn more, like where do they go to get in touch with you or what should they follow? Like what should they do?
Yeah, if they could, definitely catch up with me on LinkedIn. I'm in there all the time. So it's at B Scheer, Scheer on LinkedIn, Bruce Scheer. And then our website is valuepros.io, the IO indicating we're technology forward. There's a lot of tool and stuff that makes the magic happen as well.
Yep.
But off the website or on LinkedIn, where I'll be sure to be responsive.
Well, that's awesome. So as a closing thought, what is one more great nugget for Value Pros that's kind of based on the historical training and like experience that you have that you'd want to leave people with?
Yeah, or the whole tip of the spear or the cherry or however way you want to frame that, get your story straight. And that's why I wrote that bestseller.
Yeah.
That really is the start of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also, help quantify the value with tools. Of course, we provide and others provide. And, there's other mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a sales rep. I'm a value pro.
Yeah.
And that just reframing your own identity as a seller is a big step forward. So those are a few tips, but I'd start with getting your story straight. And it should be a buyer-centric story, not a you story, a them story.
I like that. And that frames your mind in a way that you really start to empathize and care about what plight they're going through, basically.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for coming on. Really glad that we got to
Colin.
connect
Yeah, this
with
has
you.
been a pleasure.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.